Ever since the harrowing experiences seen on the night of the Silver Bridge collapse in the state of West Virginia that was located in the small town of Point Pleasant, many have often believed that the Mothman creature had been at the epicenter of this strange occurrence. In fact, in countless witness accounts, it appears that the collapse of the Silver Bridge had been predicted by many of whom encountered the Mothman, of whom seemed to be in the attempts of trying to prevent the event from ever occurring. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be uncovering several strange sightings and encounters of the Mothman and what they might be able to tell us about that strange night so many years ago. The first ever reported sighting of the Mothman. Although it took a lot of research and digging, it appears that, interestingly enough, the first ever reported sighting of the Mothman comes from a small town that was located more than 80 miles away from that of the town of Point Pleasant. The story goes that according to a group of 5 individuals of whom worked as gravediggers in the town of Clendenin, West Virginia, as they were busy working at a burial plot getting ready to dig a new grave, they heard a strange noise overhead. At first, they were unaware of what could have been causing the strange noise, but it persisted for a while before one of them spotted a figure floating above them. They claimed that it looked human, almost as if a person itself was floating without the use of ropes, strings, wings, or hover designs of any kind, and that this strange humanoid creature was moving between the autumn trees in the area. They reported that all 5 of them saw this human-like figure and believed it to have originally been a prank of some kind with a man, but as they watched it slowly move away from them, they believed the creature to be far more ominous than usual. They then left and quickly reported the sighting to the police department of Clendenin, West Virginia, although had no name for the creature. The reports indicate that the sighting originally occurred on the 12th of November back in 1966. Many have often disregarded this sighting, however, believing that given the fact that the creature was reported as not having wings of any kind, then it could not have possibly been the Mothman sighted in the town of Point Pleasant. This is argued by others who believe that wings have not always been a staple of the creature's design, and that many have reported the creature appearing more as a man than a moth. The first encounter of the town of Point Pleasant. After following the trail of the first ever reported sighting of the Mothman, discovering the first ever reported sighting of the creature in the small town of Point Pleasant became an increasingly more difficult event to find. Although there were numerous reports in the region and myth and rumours more than circulating at this point in time, it appears that the first ever report filed by any individuals in the town when discussing an encounter with a creature that can fit with the descriptions often associated with the Mothman appear to come from the combined witness account of 4 individuals of whom all saw and reported the creature on the night of the 15th of November in 1966, a mere 3 days after the first ever reported sighting of the creature in the town of Clendenin. The accounts of the 4 individuals came from 2 separate couples of whom were driving late at night in the town of Point Pleasant, as both almost slammed into each other when they saw the Mothman creature standing in the middle of the road before floating away. Although the report does not give any information on what street and at what specific time the creature was seen, it does provide an extensive witness report and quotes taken from the 4 individuals and their encounter. One of the accounts comes from a man named Steve Millett, of whom claimed that the creature looked like a man with wings and that it was incredibly hard to describe as it looked like nothing he had ever seen before. Another account comes from Roger Scarberry, of whom described the Mothman creature as having glowing red eyes that were roughly 2 inches in diameter and 6 inches apart. Although the woman did not leave any additional comments, they confirmed the accounts of their significant others and the couple of whom also encountered the creature. Though this was the first ever reported encounter of the creature, different sightings and witness accounts in the small town of Point Pleasant would persist and worsen until the event of the Silver Bridge collapse on the 15th of December 1967. After the event, no additional reported cases were filed and it appeared that the creature vanished off the face of the earth. The sightings at the Chernobyl power plant. After the encounters witnessed in the town of Point Pleasant back in 1966 to 1967, the Mothman would not return for another couple of decades, in which reported sightings of the creature were seen throughout the Soviet Union but concentrated around the town of Pripyat and at the Chernobyl power plant. There were an overwhelming number of reports in the region and even witness accounts from those that worked at the power plants that appeared to be bothered by the appearance of the creature. According to the residents of the town of Pripyat, there were a number of reports and claims of a strange winged creature often seen flying over the town late at night on a variety of different occasions. In the case of the workers at the Chernobyl power plant, however, there appeared to be much more alarming reports that were provided. In the months shortly following the Chernobyl incident, on the 26th of April back in 1986, the workers at the Chernobyl power plant noticed the same creature reported throughout the town of Pripyat, hovering over the plant and sometimes even resting on the larger towers and areas of construction. What grew more perplexing for the workers were the reported incidents of which people often claim to have experienced harrowing nightmares of the creature that would manifest into threatening phone calls of the creature calling them all throughout the night. Many residents of Pripyat and workers at the Chernobyl power plant often describe the creature as resembling the shape of a man with wings and piercing glowing red eyes. This creature would later be referred to as the Blackbird of Chernobyl and, similar to the cases of Point Pleasant, would cease to exist in the region shortly after the Chernobyl incident. The Chernobyl incident is known worldwide as one of the largest tragedies and potentially the most environmentally damaging of its time. Although it appeared that the governments of the world were ready and prepared when it occurred, the event still saw more than 50,000 square miles of land contaminated with radioactive fallout and being made completely unusable for the foreseeable future. The site of the town of Pripyat and Chernobyl will not be habitable for another 20,000 years. It could very well be that the Mothman was warning us of an impending doom that could have left a much larger amount of land completely uninhabitable for much longer. The swine flu outbreak of Mexico. In the month of April back in 2009, the locals of La Junta in the state of Chihuahua, located in the country of Mexico, began reporting strange sightings of an unexplainable creature that fits the descriptions of the Mothman entity. The locals reported a creature that was described as being incredibly tall and standing at more than 7 feet high, which fits with previous claims seen in the town of Point Pleasant back in 1967. They also claimed that the creature had 2 incredibly large and expansive wings with red bloodshot eyes, though they were not glowing. Other information was given as well, though many witnesses disagreed with the reports of others, such as those who claimed the creature was more man-like and others arguing that the creature was covered from head to toe in a thick wool. One young student in the region even filed a police report in which detailed an experience he had had in which he was walking home and encountered the Mothman creature in the streets. According to the student, the Mothman creature followed him overhead and chased him for more than 15 minutes as he ran home trying to get away from the creature, though was left unharmed as the creature quickly flew away before anyone else could help the student. Interestingly enough, similar to the other accounts of a strange sighting and an impending disaster, it appears that the region was at the center of an eventual swine flu outbreak seen back in 2009. Although the main cause for the swine flu was never truly known, many experts believe that the pandemic very well could have originated in the region at the time of the first reported cases of the swine flu infection. Virologists believe that the swine flu itself could have been caused by a strain of the influenza virus mutating that, although usually only infected pigs, somehow changed to be able to be transmitted to people from the infected livestock. This could very well mean that perhaps the appearance of the Mothman can be more accurately explained as an individual with knowledge of soon-to-occur future events that usually lead to the death of a large amount of people and reaches public notoriety on an infamous scale. But what do you all think of the stories and encounters of the Mothman and what it could tell us about the strange creature? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.